Mic check, mic check. Are we on? Are we on? My bad, y'all. Thought I had the mic on. What up, y'all? This is just my reaction to Dr. Cheyyanne Bryant being on this podcast with Paul Pierce. And I forgot this other chick's name. Azar, whatever her name is.
Special guest on, a leading voice in mental health, best-selling author, coach, and producer behind MTV's Teen Mom Family Reunion.
Y'all gonna have to put quotations around that doctor.
Through her raw transformative approach and her book Mental Detox. Please welcome Dr. Cheyyanne Bryant.
How about that extra time?
Well, by the way, it's not my unique condition. Oh,
I can tell.
And already out of the gate, she coming at Paul Pierce with some combativeness. Now, this woman is supposed to be a doctor. Why is this woman wearing boots? Wearing them, what I like to call hooker boots, the thigh-high boots. And she's supposed to be a doctor. And this here is supposed to be a professional setting. Make it make sense.
thank you. And she's sharp.
And look at that, what Paul. See, Paul don't give a damn.
I love that. So we're so excited to have you. Like, we had to have you. You always spit that real shit, and I love it.
Okay, this one talking about she spits out real stuff. What real stuff are we talking about?
So I'm gonna start it right off the bat because I have to get your opinion on something. So Paul just told me that I was cooked, and he said that all women after 30 are cooked. Period. What are your thoughts?
Now, here's the thing about that. Kevin Samuel says that when you hit 30, you're in the danger zone. Once you hit 35 and up, you're in no man's land. If you want kids and marriage. Now, some of y'all may not want that. You know, that's fine or whatever. But Kevin Samuel said, if you want kids and marriage, do it before 30. And again, hello everyone. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
I think I've seen that. You see that? Because it's going viral. Everyone now is in my DMs telling me I'm cooked. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm 34. I get it. I might be a little cooked. But what do you feel about that? And Paul, you're what? 47. That is right. So it means he no longer.
First off, Cheyenne, you, whoever you are, you say you're 34, childless, no man. Yeah, you're cook. Cheyenne is beyond cook. You is 44, 43, about to 44, and even though some of y'all probably haven't seen this yet, she has admitted in another interview that she's in a quote unquote. Okay, let's go back to a Kim Newton interview. She admitted to being in a quote unquote situationship with a guy for 5 years. Now, why are you a 40-year-old woman in a situationship? I'll wait. Let's get back to this.
Which means you no longer are auntie or papa. That means you a cook papa. You are no longer an unc. So.
And look at Cheyenne trying to take cheap shots at Paul.
The logical perspective is he's self-projecting his papa cook self on you. Because honey, you're not cooked. But the papas are. Hello.
Not even 5 minutes in, and she's already SHITing on men. already.
That's all you do. Her, on the other hand, she's still wearing marinated meat. That's what that is. Hello, rare marinated. She ain't even got to cooking yet. She don't even know where there's a grill yet. Hello. That's why we was matching. So from now on, for the entirety of this episode, I'm gonna call you Papa Pierce. She gonna get Papa Pierce. Papa Pierce is comedy. I love that damn.
You don't sit and try crack jokes on this dude on his own podcast. Really?
I'm a chef too, right? So, I'll prep. Like the night before, like right now, I'm there making some steaks, some ribs, whatever. So, when you marinating something, what that means? It's not ready. Right? It's not ready.
Ooh. Get her, Paul. Get her. Get her, Paul. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen. Get her, Paul.
You throw it in the oven. Now it's in the oven, right? It's in the oven, it's cooking. I don't want nobody that's cooking. Like, it ain't ready. It's not ready. It's in the oven. Right? Now the time go by, years on that oven. You know it's cooked, right?
Get her, Paul. Get her.
I like cooked food.
Get her, Paul.
So, no, what I'm saying is, people looked at this as me dissing.
Right.
No, it's not a diss thing.
I got you.
I like cooking.
You're saying you like a woman who's cooked,
Who's fresh, who's seasoned.
who's experienced,
Experience.
wisdom.
See, so y'all took it out of context.
But that's not what he was saying.
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
What he's saying is that the meat that's marinated is still marinated. It's preparing for the opportunity. He's saying a woman who is cooked, does that have the wisdom, she has the experience, and so he don't have to teach her to marinate, he don't have to put her in the freezer, he ain't got to wait for her ass to come out, he ain't got to put her on the oven and wait for the oven to go, she's ready. She comes already seasoned, ready, and fresh. But he's cleaning it up, because last time I sat down, go ahead.
And so, I'm cleaning it up.
Clean it up.
It wasn't a knock.
Okay, it was a tee-up.
Exactly.
Come on.
I was waiting for this episode to explain it. It's like, oh, this ain't no knock on you being cooked. I like cooked.
So, he said you cook. That means you seasoned, you ready, you exposed.
She cooked. You cooked. You like cooked.
Get her, Paul.
About to go box. I'm gonna throw y'all in that and go to the crib.
Okay, clean it up.
Like that wasn't a bad thing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
People want to talk to me like I'm down and that's a good thing.
Okay.
That's a good thing. So don't take it. And I know in society and how we word things, like, oh yeah, he's saying they washed. Washed is another word.
Yeah,
that's
different.
Cook. I said cook.
Washed is different.
Washed.
Because technically, let me say this because I love what you're saying, Paul. Technically, if a person was to eat that raw uncooked meat, they would become intoxicated with salmonella. Come on. So you don't want nothing that's raw. You need it to be fully cooked. So you can actually have a healthy relationship with no intoxication, no dysfunction, and no raw meat that's gonna have your ass sitting in my office, the doctor's office, because you ate something that wasn't ready. Come on. Sing to the choir.
That's why I did it. And I was like, oh, they taking this as something that's bad. No, this ain't
And
bad.
it's not.
It's not. If I say you cook, that means you ready.
So listen, young fellas, because I'm 42 and cooked. Make sure you get you a woman who is cooked, can cook, and will be able to cook. Right? So from what Paul just said, and I just added to it, if she's not cooked, she's raw meat. And anything raw that will intoxicate you is not good for your health. Speak that.
Why would most men want something old? We don't want no old food.
Speak that.
Now it makes sense.
I love that.
I'm not here to diss women. I'm here to
love
like
that.
say, hey, cook is amazing.
Come on, cooked is amazing. For everyone in my DM said I'm cooked, it's amazing, baby. That's why when he said it, I said I'm cooked and I taste delicious.
That's why all these young boys,
Come on.
y'all like unseasoned meat. Y'all like.
Well, it's the older men that like that.
And here's something that older women need to realize. If you're an older woman with a younger man, either you're a sugar mama or you're nothing more than practice. Take it and leave it.
It's not the young
That's
ones.
true. The younger men
The young
like
ones like, they like, look, they know what's going on.
I tell you, they know.
It's the older ones who want that unseasoned shit.
Yes, and the young men are willing to wine and dine and prepare
They are.
the table for the cooked meat.
They do.
Listen, the older men sitting back with pom-pom stands like you with their glass in their hands saying, when you gonna serve them? Woo!
Make daddy a salad.
Make daddy a sandwich.
Facts, Paul. That's what I'm talking about.
Make daddy
Make me a sandwich.
Well, she already cooked you one now. Come on, y'all.
Anthony Mackie said, make daddy
And
a
but let me
salad.
answer that because a cooked seasoned woman
We'll make daddy a
will make daddy
salad.
a sandwich. Come back and say, more?
Hello.
How did you need dessert?
I need dessert.
See, that's why you want a cooked woman.
Right.
Because she gonna make the sandwich, she gonna cook a meal and then say, anything else? Daddy? Anything else?
Come on.
Is your glass half empty?
Yeah.
We gonna make it half full.
So now I'm glad we had a chance to clear this up, bringing Doc on. Listen, I had to explain that because I got a lot of flack. You cooked is good, girl.
And y'all came for me heavy. Y'all trifling for that.
So you youngins, or you oldest, or whoever
Oldest.
Come on.
cook is cracking.
Cook is cracking.
Cook is cracking.
Okay. Okay. So now my next question for you is, I don't know if you've seen this, but Paul said, I'm coming for Paul tonight. Paul said that marriage is for old and poor people. What do you believe? How do you feel about that?
Women. Women, what was that?
Paul, listen. Paul cooked.
So now my next question for you is, I don't know if you've seen this, but Paul said, I'm coming for Paul tonight. Paul said that marriage is for old and poor people. What do you believe?
Now, I agree on part of this, but not all of this. Let me see.
How do you feel about that?
Well, y'all.
Hold on. Paul, listen. Paul cooked again. Because he cooks again. You like cooking. Studies show that the poor folks who marry. Now, I come from the hood. I come from very humble beginnings, so I'm going off studies. I have no problem with
Long Beach in the
right,
house.
yes. But what I'm saying, studies do show that with that marriage is more successful, long-lasting, less stressful, and happy when two people actually have money that provides resources for a great quality of life. He's correct.
Talk to him.
Marriage
Talk
for
about it.
folks who don't have financial stability, which provides resources for a great quality of life, which in return makes it to where your stress levels are low and you can actually enjoy each other, the divorce rate is much, much higher. Much, much higher. Much higher. So, I mean, in reality,
But here's a question I got to ask. Why can't y'all get y'all y'all's financials together before y'all get married and start working on going 50-50 before you get married? Just a thought.
you know, back in the day, marriage was a privilege, and it was only a privilege for the folks who were wealthy. That's just the truth of the matter. Like, folks who were not economically stable didn't have the privilege of being able to be married. And when I look back on it, of course, I think marriage should be available and an option to anyone without discrimination. But if you really look at it, when two people get married who are not ready, we're not even talking about just mental health-wise, right, emotional intelligence-wise, but economically, they are marrying to a deficit because they are not able to provide each other the full essence of the quality of life that they want in a marriage, even for the...
And that's because a lot of women want to get married and want the man to pay for everything, when in this day and time, it's not financially feasible. The only thing that's feasible is both parties going 50-50. And that's it, and that's all. People need to understand that 50-50 is the way to go. 50-50 is not stroke of love. It's not, what other words y'all use? A woman being a pick-me or any of that. It's common sense.
Himself individually. And I have yet to meet a man, and I say yet, I've been in my field 17 years, I have yet to meet a man, no matter how on the lower economic status he was, on the high economic status he was, who did not want to, at some point, be able to provide for his woman. Even if he couldn't, there was something in that man that said, like, at some point, I would love to be able to provide economically for my wife. And when a man can't, it's just the dynamic in that marriage, and it does put that man in a deficit in many ways, and oftentimes that man doesn't know how to process the emotions, identify how he feels, and say, listen, maybe I am a little disconnected from you. Maybe you do feel that there is some type of barrier between us that I'm unaware of, but, I'm not able to be at my full potential with you, and so it does affect me. Anything that affects me.
And here's another thing she probably ain't gonna say. Women who typically make more than their men they usually get an ego problem when they make more than their men. And 9 times out of 10, when they are mad at their men, they like to draw up how financially more stable they are than that man when they get angry. It has been scientifically proven.
That man is going to affect the entire dynamic of that relationship, and if you have kids, then who is getting the short end of the stick as babies? And so this is why I always say to people, I'm 42 and I'm not married with any kids yet. I'm ready now, but I wanted to purposely wait till I was educated, until I had my career. I wanted to.
This is another thing that Kevin Samuels used to talk about, is that in the black community over the last 25 years, black women are choosing family versus career. Kevin Samuels said flat out that black women can have both. But the thing is, y'all don't want to sit there and try and have both. Y'all want to make it one or the other. Cheyyanne Bryant could have had the career she has, plus a husband and kids. But with what's being taught through feminism, she's taught through feminism that the career has to be first, even though she could have had the career and the family. Again, just saying.
Until I was economically stable enough to provide a life.
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen, please. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
So that I can say I'm not only choosing a husband, but I'm choosing a father.
Hello. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen, please.
A lot of folks who choose marriage early are choosing codependently a partner who can satisfy their trauma in that space. And they trauma bond. And after that trauma's healed, or that trauma shifts, those conditions are gone. So guess what's also gone? The bond. Because if the trauma changes, which is what's the glue to the bond, then the bond has to change. So now we say we outgrew each other. No, y'all never were with each other. You were with each other's traumas. You don't even know this again.
And that's another thing that I can't stand is women using the excuse of we grew apart as an excuse to leave. No, the thing is, you didn't grow apart. You just refused to grow with them. And that's what happened.
Damn.
Wait a minute, so
Go for a pause.
you said, sorry. So you still want to get married and you still want kids?
What's up, anybody?
No, I'm just saying, like, I feel like,
What's up,
no, I just feel
Yeah,
like,
why would you not?
no, this is not a lie. This is just,
I tell you why Paul was laughing. Because Paul realizes that you should have been had your kids already. And that's why Paul was laughing. Paul is laughing because in his mind, and most men's minds, you should have had your kids and your husband already. That's why Paul was laughing.
Like, I feel like when you get older, like, this is the time to enjoy more life. This
Facts.
is the time to be, like, you should be looking to travel.
And to be honest, with Cheyyanne Bryant being the age that she is, she should at least, if she was to have children, she should at least have teenage age children by now. But she talking about that she wants to try to start a family in her 40s. Now, scientifically speaking, the older you are, the harder it is for a woman to give birth to a child. That's not a talking point. That is science. Because if you look at Holly Berry, look at how hard both of her pregnancies were. They were extremely hard for Holly Berry, and not only were they extremely hard for Holly Berry actually said that with her daughter, Nala, she actually thought she was going to die giving birth to her, but she's grateful that she didn't die. So with that being said, again, the older you are as a woman, the more health complications will arise by you trying to have a child at later stages in life. Let's get back to this.
Like, see the world, because we're on the back nine. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the back nine.
You are, not me. Papa, you, not me.
I'll take that.
I'm still
on the
auntie.
back. Yeah, you auntie. But I just feel like once the 40s hit, it should be like, man, you know what, that's all good because, like, you know, kids take up a lot of time. Like,
Facts. Everything that Paul's saying is actual factual, ladies and gentlemen. Tap the screen, 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 tap the screen.
I just feel like for me, like, this is the thing. I fell in love when I was in love with the situation, how they were before the kid. And the dynamic of the kid, because you don't have no script for this. When the kid comes, the whole dynamic
Talk
of the
about
relationship
Paul.
changes,
Especially for the man. Let's keep it real.
yeah, for sure.
Especially for the man.
Because now you go, and it's funny because I look in other relationships like how a lot of famous like actors or actresses, like they divorce within the first year, a few years of having kids.
Oh, you cook again? I'm not putting your ass back on the grill. You cooking? Because no,
She don't know what I'm talking
because
about.
marriages, divorce happens within the first year.
Of the
Of
kids.
birth.
Yeah.
Within the first year.
Yeah.
That's when divorce happens. And if the folks are not married, that's when separation or breakup happens within the first year of that
I'll
child.
tell you why too.
Of course, yeah.
Like, because like you fall in love, you meet a girl or you meet a guy, you fall in love with like, damn, I love that, you know, how we are right now. We travel, it's sex every day, and it's blazing in your eyes, and we're going here, we're going there, we're going there. So now, the pregnancy comes. Those things stop.
Okay then. The pregnancy comes. What does that mean for the man's position in that relationship? Explain that to us.
Well,
man.
as a man, you fell in love with what
And notice Cheyenne is trying to box Paul into a corner.
things you fell in love with. Like, we're going here, we're going there. It's spontaneous.
The spontaneity of doing things. Like get up and go. My go-to, my road dog.
My man, let's go. Like, wake up, go, we'll do this. And then all that just stops. And then it's, man, you know, we ain't doing the same stuff. But, like, it changes the whole dynamic. And it's just like, damn, now you get so deep in the pregnancy, now the sex stops. And that stops for a minute. Like, a minute. that's what, and that, but sex ain't what made you fall in love. It's just the whole friendship, all of this, and like, you gotta go
But
through.
sex is a part of the expression. Let's
Yeah.
keep it real, because when we're talking about casual sex, then sex is an act for pleasure. But when we're talking about relationship, marital sex, where like you're saying, we love each other, you know, you might owe to my ex-boo, that sex is a part of the expression of love. It satisfies the duality of, okay, physically, yeah, we may orgasm, but emotionally and spiritually, right? This is a way for us to be in tune and connect and be in our space and get our pride and be in ecstasy together and take ourselves like into an outer body experience sexually. If you're doing it in a way that's not casual and really plugged into the person. That's the experience. So you get more than an internal orgasm. You get that external orgasm, and now you have a duality of what you're talking about, that connection that fuses people, not just the orgasm.
Agreed. And in saying that, when that stops, for like months, it could be a year.
Or I want to ask you this, because you're hitting, I did my goal 17 years, you're hitting the number one complaints I get from all of my married men who come in session with me. What is the impact of the stopping of the intimacy, which is sex and intimacy, the connection with your woman, I get to have her, available conveniently for me, for us. I want to know, what are the impacts of that on them for you?
Well, this is what you fell in love with. You fell in love with that. So now that get taken away from you. But then now, not only does that get taken away from you, now I'm getting 100% of the attention, and you might go from 100 to, now you get 30%. Because when that baby comes, that's like, because from a woman, that connection is a different connection now.
Yep.
If you birth a kid, you birth a kid. That comes from
Soon as a woman gets pregnant, the attention towards the man automatically goes down.
A duality of mama and wife. And the man only has to stay in one role. Because at the beginning of a child's infancy, with all due respect, they don't need you for survival. They need you for presence and love, of course, but they don't need you for survival.
They need the woman.
That's just she's breastfeeding. And so the man 100% gets pushed out of that dynamic. Wholly out of it. And a lot of women who are either fatherless girls or they have father in the home, because I always say you can have a present parent that also presents trauma. But just because a parent is present doesn't mean it doesn't present trauma. But if you're also a woman in the household who didn't see your mom navigate mommyhood and wifehood and common that, then that woman doesn't know how to do that. On top of that, she may be experiencing postpartum. And let me go another route that we don't talk about enough. Men also experience postpartum. But we don't.
What is that?
It's when there's a hormone imbalance, right, from a woman giving birth.
For a man.
Oh, for a man. Oh, it's well, just like you and your woman are connected. You're in tune. If me and her in the house for 60 days, 3 months, our menstrual cycles end up being on the same young, right? Naturally. Did you know that? If women live together for a short period of time, all of our cycles in the house end up being on the same cycle. We will start our period on the same day.
Even if you just hang out with the woman a lot.
100%.
Like I can hang out with a homegirl, kick it with her for a few weeks, like a month. And next episode, like my period will shift. And like it was on the 17th, now it's coming on the 3rd.
Tap screen, please. Tap screen.
How hormonally connected and intertwined do you think you and your woman are? Who, let's just say, is your wife and she's having a child?
Damn, I haven't thought about that.
And so, women do really care around that time. But I always have an issue with that, and again, I'm going to disclaim it again, women need all the care and support and love around birth and postpartum and all of that. However, men get shut out of also experiencing postpartum and being shut out of the family dynamic. Because now you're the outsider. And there's a new little bundle of joy that I have yet to meet a man who's not overly excited and in love with your child, but they're also trying to navigate where do I fit in this equation now, without me sounding selfish and crazy, right? And telling her, I feel like you're putting a baby before me, because most men don't know how to express that without feeling guilty.
And unfortunately, with some men, if they have a child with a woman, and they're in a relationship, in some cases, the man, unfortunately, either not only feels like the forgotten one, he feels and becomes the forgotten one.
Because they're going, wait, but she's supposed to mother my child.
Yeah.
And I want my child to not go without this experience. And I don't want to take the experience from my wife. So then the man ends up being in a position of having to process all that shit on his own, or with his boys, or I'm going to go there with his side chick. I'm just keeping it real, because those are all real dynamics. Or
Yeah.
that man then ends up stepping out. I'm not condoning it. I'm just speaking what really happens a lot of times. They end up stepping out to get...
Yeah, I'm also going to be honest. The main reason why men step out is because the woman they with forgets about them. There, I said it.
What they believe, their experiences missing, that they're no the deficit. To feel that deficit, it doesn't make it right, but we're talking about the reality of what happens. And then what happens with the woman? She's left at home to be a single mama in a house where she has a family. So she doesn't have she don't have a broken home. She don't have a broken home because everybody in the house. But guess what? She got a broken family because that house isn't here.
Yeah. But you know, like as a woman myself who doesn't have children, hearing things like this does not motivate me to have children. Yeah, I'm like, I'm cool. Like, I'll just do all that. We can hit it. We can travel. Like, hearing this, it's like, damn. Like, of course I'm a nurturing woman. I have a motherly instinct. And I've always felt like, okay, I could be a mom and I want to be a mom. But as I get older and I view these different relationships and I see how it makes the relationship so strained and they're so stressed out. Like, I don't know one relationship that did not go through that and is not strained because of that. So it just doesn't motivate me to want to do it.
The right tools, right? And that's why I say therapy and life coaching, that should be a lifestyle.
For sure.
As a preventative measure, not an intervention, right? But to Paul's point and question about being 42 and wanting to be married and me wanting to wait till I was of age, is exactly what you said.
Yeah.
With time, you get wisdom. And with seeing things and allowing other people's experiences to expose you to things that help you have better decision-making skills, it saves you a lot of that people are going through in their 20s and 30s when they're married young.
True.
You have kids, right?
Yes.
Can I ask how many?
No, I have
4 kids. Okay, by one woman, just 2. Okay. So you're not with them on tape, I'm guessing. Okay. So I'm not saying had you did it now, you would still be with them, but I know for sure had you did it now, you would have done it differently. Or you would have figured out how to do it in a way where you can actually have a family with whoever you're doing it with. That comes with wisdom at the age of your age 47. But at 23 or 30, whether you were thinking family or not, more than likely not.
No, I was thinking family.
Okay.
I was 30 when I was 30.
Did you get married to either one of them?
Yeah, I did.
You married both of them?
No, the first.
The first, but not the second. Okay, right. So at 47, you don't meet too many men who are procreating with or before marriage. Usually they're in the mindset you just said, I'm 47, I want to travel the world, right? I'm more responsible now because of my current responsibilities, because experience teaches, words don't. So through your experiences, you learn what to do and what not to do. So men and women become better with age because of their experience. Experience gives you wisdom. Words do not, because they don't teach. So for me as a woman of age, I always want to make sure that I was having my kids in equity, not a deficit, because of my own inability to make good decisions on behalf of them. So at 23 or 30 years old, or maybe even 35, my decision making may have chose a situation that puts my kids in a deficit. Now, Your children are blessings, no matter how you look at it, they just are. But they were still born in a deficit because they didn't get the experience of a full household and a full present father. Even if you run the world playing ball, that's different. Knowing that daddy's out there getting it for our household than it is to say he has kids with another woman. So that could possibly be why he can't be here with us in this time. Or can't.
Well, good God, Cheyenne. How else is a man supposed to take care of his family? The man's got to work to make sure that the child's provided for. And he's got to work to make sure that the child's provided for and the child's mother is taken care of. What's you talking about?
Be present all the time. Doesn't mean that the kids are doomed. We're just talking about the deficit of something as small as a decision causes. And as we choose, but as we become better, we date better, we choose better, we marry better, and guess what we do? We parent better. And if people take their time, then they can really avoid doing the time.
Now, what do you say to the women that feel like, okay, I'm on this time clock? Because I know a lot of people, including some of my own family members, that have gotten pregnant, and they were like, you know what, girl, I'm 30-something, I'm just going to have it. Like, even if they're married, they're not, I don't feel that it's like you're so happy.
And that's another thing that's stupid. If some of y'all women just having babies because y'all biological clock is ticking, that is so stupid. This is why Kevin Samuels always used to say, marry before you carry, because some of y'all are even having babies by people you don't even know. Tell me why I'm lying. Marry before you carry, which basically means get to know the person, and if y'all want to procreate, get married and procreate.
You're everything, but you're like, hey, I'm this age, I'm just going to have this child now because it's what I should be doing. Or you feel like you're on this biological time clock where you're like, okay, oh my God, I'm nervous, I'm getting of age to where I'm not a spring chicken anymore. Am I going to be able to have children, you know? And I feel like women have that pressure. And another thing is, I feel like women have the pressure of, you know, a lot of the times, even for me, when I've been podcasting or I've been out in the world, it's like, why are you single, man? As if it's like, you're not shit because you're single. Or, yeah, it devalues you. Like, why are you single? Well, maybe I'm single because I know myself, my standards, and what I actually...
No. Half of y'all are single because half of y'all are single because of your attitudes. The other half of y'all are single is because Black Women's Empowerment has BS delivered HELL out of y'all. And that's why y'all are single.
What? So I'm not settling for anything because a lot of people I know are doing just that. But what do you say to women who feel that pressure? You know, because you're very confident, 42. You're like, I can have kids, I'm going to get married, and I love that energy. Yeah, and I believe it. And I love that energy, but I feel like...
I'm sorry that I'm pausing it so much. Just because you may be able to get married and have kids at 40 don't mean that you should. You should have did this at least 15 years earlier in Cheyyanne Bryant's case. Cheyyanne should have talked about kids and getting married 15 years earlier. Instead of trying to do it at 40.
So many women are in fear, and they operate out of this fear. And if you could say anything to help them, like that would be
operating
amazing.
out of that.
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
say, where's your faith at? Faith is action. Right? And so for me, I always use Abraham and Sarah in the Bible. God doesn't, he keeps his promises. He says no request returns void. Okay? And so Sarah and Abraham made a request for a child.
Man, don't try and put God in you dysfunctional mess, please.
Up and ready. And Sarah got impatient. And she
Tap the screen, 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 tap the screen.
He said, there was a baby, both of them.
Yeah.
in the Bible.
Yeah, I know
So
I know
so
it's
Sarah, no, but this is why faith is an action word.
Tap the
Sarah
screen,
told
tap the screen, tap the screen, please. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
He got the maid pregnant. As soon as he got the maid pregnant,
she was pregnant, yeah.
so Sarah told Abraham, guess what? I'm pregnant now, bro. Maid, I gotta go. So Abraham, being the good husband that he was, because remember, he's been arguing on to her voice the whole time. He didn't cheat. He gave him permission to do this. He tells the maid she gotta go. God talks to the maid in the desert and he says, listen, you don't know who you're pregnant with. Go back. The maid's like, I can't go back, go back. He comes back. Sarah has her baby. Guess what? In that household, nothing but conflict. Nothing but conflict. What is my point? My point is I'm not Sarah. I understand that my request ain't returned home. And I understand, like the Bible says, be anxious for nothing and make your request known to God. I'm not anxious about when child or husband is coming. I don't want anything that's not mine. And I say this, Paul, with no pun intended, when we take things that aren't ours, it comes with the expiration date. Just like those two beautiful mothers of your kids, expiration date. But you still have the kids you have to follow. I don't want that situation. So I would rather wait for God to deliver what's mine on his time when I am hooked and not still raw meat and not ready. And if that means I gotta wait till 43 or 44 or call up another wedding, I am okay with that. My obedience is to God, not people.
Come on.
I don't live in dogma. And so if I run around here like Sarah, I will mess up and end up with a man who already got the maid pregnant, which means I don't get an opportunity to have my own family, my own husband. I would have to share him. Why? Because
And then, and she talking about that she would have to share him. The reason why some of y'all have to share a man is because there are because of the man you need, y'all will pass up the man you need for the man you want. It's too many of y'all wanting this 6-figure, 6 foot tall, down south man. And the thing is, 80% of women only qualify for the average man. But the thing is, y'all don't want the average man. So therefore, since y'all don't want the average man, y'all are gonna have a sharing man. It's not on the men, it's on the women.
it'll be at the expense of my disobedience. It happened really quick with Moses. He freed the Israelites from Egypt. God said, I'll take you to the promised land. But guess what? God kept his promise because he took him to the promised land. When Moses got to the promised land, God said, okay, talk to the rock. And I'll have water come out. Talk to the rock. When Moses had a temper tantrum, kind of like Sarah, God had said, took his rod and hit the rock twice. Come on. God still kept his promise because although he told him to talk, not hit, water came out of that rock. He took Moses to the promised land. But guess what? Moses and everyone who followed him didn't get in. You know why? Because he was disobedient. So God will always keep his promise, and you're being right there. And the moment that you choose not to be obedient after, you know, what caused the Red Sea, you know, been in the wilderness for 40 years like Moses and Israelites. You get to finally where you want to be, Dr. Bryant, at 42, 43. And you mean to tell me when God told you to speak to the rock, you take your time, that you're going to hit the rock? Just because some outside chatter told you that you're 42 and you should be married already because you're so successful? Now I'm going to talk to the rock all day long. I'm going to get my water and my promised land. And that's exactly...
Again, I'm still going to say it. In the words of Kevin Samuels, yes, there is a chance that you can be married and have children in her 40s, but the chances are slim to none. If she did this 15 years earlier, her chances of being married and with children would be higher.
And the Lord said,
Amen. Amen. And guess what I'm going to do? What God says. I'm going to have the witnesses witness me do all of it.
Come on.
And so I could be a testimony and continue
Come
to
on.
be so for His word.
Speak
To
that.
show that we have got to be impatient.
Come on.
We do have to be obedient. And
Come
so,
on.
it's the action word. If you ask for God to do it, and it's not on your time, it's on His. So once you ask for it, let God give you experience that gives you wisdom, that equips you for what you need to be, with who and where you need to be. You got too many people that are not only doing time, but their kids are too, and the mothers are too, because they didn't want to took their time. But wait for the right time for the meat, like Paul said, not to be toxic, but to be cooked.
Come on now. Now, let me ask you this. Are you okay with the man who already has children? No.
No.
Okay, why not?
What?
Deal breaker for you? Why
Because
not?
I want my own family.
No. I got to call this BS out. When women say that they do not want men with children, what that translates to is, I need the focus to be on me and me alone. I don't want this man trying to focus on me and his children. She's basically saying, I need to focus on me and me alone. So this is just her being selfish.
You cannot have that with a man who already has children.
Selfishness.
That is a form of polyamory.
Really?
It's a form of polyamory, please.
Wait a minute.
Polyamory doesn't have to be.
Wait a minute. How is a man taking care of his children a form of polyamory? How? And that is so perverse that she wouldn't even compare a man taking care of his children and being in a relationship with her as polyamory. That is perverse. I'm sorry.
Us all living in a household together and we're all doing good. Polyamory is outside relationships that I'm okay with. So if I'm in a relationship with Paul, I have to be okay with him having a relationship with the mothers of his children.
Yeah.
I hope he does,
Yeah.
right? So although he's not sleeping with them, or we would want to think he's not, he's just
Right.
taking as being a good man, he's just co-parenting and doing it the right way. Or when Christmas or holidays.
So you trying to take co-parenting and try and put that in the same conversation as polyamory. How? That makes no sense.
I don't know, birthday party or a wedding or graduation, all of them right to spend time with his kids. And if the mother is there, I mean, they procreated together. Not a crime for her to be in the same room as him. That's what co-parenting is. Healthy co-parenting
Right.
is. If I agree to that, I am now, or I could be attempting to be healthy with these women, right? If I'm going to love him, I love Paul's kids. So now I'm in a polyamory relationship that I'm agreeing to be in, because although you're not sleeping with this woman, we all are a family. Whether you want to think of it that way or not. Because if I love this man,
part-time.
part-time, full-time.
Because like, it's
Polyamory should be part-time, full-time. We do polyamory from 2 to 5 p.m. It don't matter what the time frame is. It is what it is. So I am not going to agree to be in a polyamory relationship because I am a faithful woman. So I'm not going to have a man outside of him to eat.
No, what that is selfishness. What that is you being selfish. Get it right, Cheyenne. Get it right. If you're a selfish woman, just say that. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen, please. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
Well, I can think because technically I'm at a loss. You get to have 2 other families, and I get to have you. And what if I want to share you on Christmas?
Or any day. Any
What
day.
if I don't want to share you on your child's birthday? And I'm not saying that's okay. I'm speaking realities. People don't want to speak reality. A lot of what I've yet to hear a woman who is with a man even if she has a kid outside, let's say they both have kids outside of each other, who have not said, if it was just us and our kids, it would be no time.
Absolutely.
And that's even without having baby mama, baby daddy mama. We're talking about the emotion that comes with it. So if I don't want to share you on Monday, January 3rd, because I'm just in my space where I want you. But Lil Paul has a birthday party. And he needs his father.
Yeah.
And I want to support you. So I love y'all. I take you as a package deal. But I don't have any kids. So guess what? You get me 365 days of the year. Unless I'm on my speaking tour, I'm in session healing the client, or I'm here on our podcast, and you can even come here with me. You still don't got to share me. So what am I saying is, it is an unfair bargain that too many women and men do, because men date women with kids too. And the men.
How is that an unfair bargain when that's the reality you pick? If you as a woman get with a man that's either divorced or separated or a single dad, you as a woman should understand the children will always come before you. And that's it.
That man may not have kids, and he's also signing up for that. And so, as much as people may not want to say,
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen, please. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen. Tap the screen. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome.
See, I can marry you all day long, and you can go do that with anyone else. Once I create a child with you, that is your DNA and my DNA. Where else can you mix us to that depth or that level? Where else can you even move us to equip together? We can't even do that in marriage.
Yeah, that's the.
All right. I got a question.
Come on, Paul.
Okay, so.
Well, I'm like, damn. No, because you hit me with some stuff. I'm like, wow.
She said some things, right?
Yeah.
Right. So now that changes the whole dynamic on who you date.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? She's not looking for an older man than her. She's looking for somebody much younger than her. That changes the whole dynamic.
If he's my age and no kids.
Most men is a red flag your age for most men.
Someone said that, right? Like, I was dating a man who was 41 and he had no children. Really great guy. And my sister was like, he's a red flag because he has no children at that age.
How?
I said, is he a red flag or is he smart? Because I'm confused, you know? Is he smart enough not to procreate with someone that is not really his match or he's in alignment with? Because if he's single now, he probably would have been single with them kids too. Still trying to date. So I heard that before and I was very curious to that because I'm like, he was a really good guy, it just didn't work out.
How is a man gatekeeping home? Shoot. Okay, good, I'm still here. How is a man gatekeeping his seed a red flag? I'm going to say this very loud, I'm going to say this very clear. Women should gatekeep their virginity. Men should gatekeep their seed. That is it. That is all. Let's get back to this.
But I was like, I don't see it necessarily as a red flag because it might be a smarter move.
It is a smarter move.
41, 42 with children, and they don't mess with the children, the mother of the children, or if they do and do whatever on the side, okay. But I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on that.
So, from my personal experience, right, not from like.
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen, please. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
There's nothing they had to cover their whole life. There's nothing outside of themselves they had to think about or consider.
So is that a red flag?
A selfish man?
I think so.
No, I definitely think so. Yeah, definitely think so. However, if you get a man of age who does have kids, you would hope that he is a very active father. Him being an active father also comes with him having to be selfish. in order to be present with his kids.
Yes.
So there is an aspect that may be a healthy selfishness, where it's like, I may want to eat, sleep, and chit you all day, but I gotta be a father. So there's going to be a part of me that may look selfish, but I gotta put these kids in a priority position somewhere.
For sure.
Right? And wherever they grow into those spaces, baby, you can't go.
And the kids are before the woman, you would say?
No. But watch this. So let's just say you and Paul married, y'all procreate your own little thinkers. I'm a biblical girl. I'm a Jesus girl. Biblically, the hierarchy goes God, Paul, you, babies.
Yeah.
But let me tell you why. Men have the honor of God automatically covering.
Yeah.
Right? Women, we marry into our man's covering. So men get God covering, we get a double layer of covering, and the kids get triple layer of covering. Why? Because they're kids, they have no insight. They need a double layer of protection. However, love that we're going with. If Paul has you and your babies, oh, he got her and her babies. Oh, he got her and her babies. I'm just curious on how in the hell was he covering all three women at the same time? And all of them at the same time. Let me tell you why. Because covering is spiritual, but it's also physical. How are you able to be present all the same? If you're not all in one under the same roof, collectively together every day, every night. One of these kids ain't getting picked up from school from Papa Paul. What? No. One of these kids, you may not be able to get to the dentist appointment at the expense of another kid, because he has to be there for the kid who's in his household. And the child, y'all child, let's just say y'all live together, is going to be given the equity of him.
Yes.
Because he's in the house. How do you think this makes other children feel? They may not be able to articulate it, but they do grow up feeling a little unwanted, even though Dad, Paul, was trying his best. And I'm not even saying, because you got men who are daddy of, they are giving everything God to fatherhood. And they got multiple kids by multiple women.
And it's still tough.
Well, you can't put the blame on the dad. Like let's just speak on that, because women divorce the men.
Yeah, women file more than
So now, if you're saying that the kids feel a certain way, then we gonna take the criticism of it. Well, look, my kids, I didn't divorce your mom.
Yeah.
So there has to be multiple conversations
100%.
as they get older. They try to explain stuff, and it's like you can't say like, I didn't want to be around you or all that, or I had this new family or all of that. It's like you know.
Oh, you can't say that? Oh, you can't tell. So hold on, we can't be honest with our kids now and say, look, baby, your mom divorced me and I have a new family, and I actually love spending time with you and my new family.
Well, yeah, you can
Wouldn't that be the truth?
That is the truth.
Or is that the hard truth? Or is that the hard truth?
You gotta be careful with kids.
That's my point. But that's the hard truth. But listen, you can, remember, words don't teach, experience does. I don't mean to cut you off, but I gotta go there for a second. We can tell our child whatever we want to tell them. The experience that we give them.
Tap the screen, 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 tap the screen.
And don't spend no time with them. That child will grow up to feel in love.
And let me say this, my dad has 6 kids though. My dad has, no, my dad has 6 children, 6 daughters.
We're tagging your phone.
No, but my dad has 6 daughters. I just want to say this. My dad is a present, wealthy father. He has money, he has means, he's married to my mother. He was married 2 times before and has 6 children. Before my mom. 2 times. He has 6 children. I'm the youngest out of 6. My sister and myself, who are from my mother, who he's been married to the longest, got to see my dad the most. My other sisters have rights where they're like, damn, I love my dad. He provided for us financially because he's rich. He did this. He came and saw us when he could, and da-da-da-da. But I wasn't growing up in the household every day with my dad.
They wanted the true currency of life. You know what that currency is? Time. Time is a true currency of life. It's not money, and you can't spend it. And you can't even describe time. You know why? Because it's that infinite.
Yeah.
It's that important. Paul, what were you going to say? Because I felt like you had something heavy to say. Come on, Paul. We were talking about, no, because you were going somewhere ago. You were saying that we can't just blame the father. We also have to look at the mother who is filing for divorce. No, you're going somewhere good because I wanted to talk about that piece because you're on point. And you were saying that when you have a conversation with the child, it can't always be daddy messed up, right? Daddy is the problem, right?
Yeah.
You were going down that lane. Well, let me tell you why I love that you were going there because a lot of times, I'm sorry, oh, you were going somewhere so good because kids grow up when divorce happens and dad leaves the house, right? And what happens is little boys end up resenting their mother because in a little boy's mind, yes they do. Yes they do. They end up resenting the mom. You know why? Because in the little boy's mind, if mom would have done right.
No. We are not about to do that. The only time the children become resentful is if the parents put it in the child's mind to make them be resentful. Either the dad who puts it in the child's mind to resent the mother, or the mother put it in the child's mind to be resentful towards the daddy. Stop the cap, Dr. Cheyyanne Bryant.
Daddy would have wanted to be here. The only time that a little boy does not resent the mother is if he literally sees his father abusing his mother and he can rationalize why his mom would leave his father. If a child cannot rationalize why you would leave his mother, he has to, they're kids, they have no insight. Well, they got to blame somebody. And if they don't blame you or mom, guess what they blame? Themselves. Now we're really in a self-hate crisis. Now we have a little kid that grows up and they feel shame because shame and guilt are different. Shame is I'm a bad person. Guilt is I did something wrong. But now we have a child that thinks I'm a bad person because I wasn't good enough to keep mom and dad together. I wasn't good enough for my dad and mom to say even if I stay for her or for him, we're going to keep this family together. So there's nothing I did that was good enough to make these two people who are supposed to love me, not drop me, not fumble this family. Kids end up in suicidal ideations over divorce. I have so many kids in my session, teenager, adolescent boys who are 16, who are like, I hate my father for cheating on my mom. I looked at my dad's phone, knew his password, and seen the text message between him and this woman. And now I'm suicidal. And I want to plan to do it in the kitchen so my dad could find me. You know why? So my dad could see the pain that I felt when he ruined our family.
You know what's crazy?
That is deep.
Yeah, I understand. That is super deep. But like, this is the thing with kids. They're always going to hear one side of the story. When there's a divorce, right?
Talk about Paul. Talk about it.
They can ask questions at any time. The mom can say whatever.
Church is fun.
The dad is not there. And you can't explain his side. Because there's a side of the story and a dynamic in all of this to where
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
the dad is always
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
The dad always gets looks at as the bad guy. Even though the dad didn't divorce, right? Which happens, you know, you
Yeah.
I'll be right back, y'all. I'm not going to end this, just going to pause it.
Right. But the kid
to these babies. That
Okay,
you
we
have
back.
two people in this house that can tell you their narrative, their story, and you can choose who you
Huh?
want to listen to. You can choose.
What's this
who you wanna
restriction
hear.
I got on
But
my
wanna
live
say
stream?
everything that I can.
How?
Which means if I have to sacrifice a little bit in that household,
Okay.
if I gotta have meetings with daddy to say,
Dang
listen,
it.
we may not want to be here, but we made a commitment to be here. So what we got to do?
Okay, the self-harm remark.
But let me tell you why I say
Damn
age is
it.
important. Listen, in my 20s, and even in my 30s, I would have been in my
I
feelings.
wish I could have peeled
don't
that.
cause problems. Feelings do. And I would have
Let me see if I
acted out
can
of feelings,
appeal
not
that.
commitment. Because commitment's not a feeling. It's you doing what you said you was going to do regardless of how you feel. At 42, I can commit. That's that obedience to my promised land. At 20, in my 20s and 30s, guess what? I would throw the whole motherfucking towel in and say, you know what, me and the kids don't do that because I do well. I'm a doctor. I got to support family and friends. Nigga, we can co-parent. Come on. But that's in your 20s and 30s. This is why I'm saying to a person like yourself and other people watching me, women who have already made those decisions, and they end up being bad decisions, not mistakes. The kids are not mistakes, but bad decisions in the way that you happen to, create your kids' dynamic and put them in. At 42, I understand the power of commitment and sacrifice. At 23, I understood the power of how I feel. That's the difference, Paul. At 23, we're going to tear this house up. We ain't tripping off these kids, we're going to tear this house up. And we figured out later. You know we're going to do that. Call the police. Neighbors, I don't care. What you at? Shit. Come pick these kids up real quick. It's a problem. You know that. But at 42, we give each other that look that goes, the kids is in this. The kids is real good. Hold on. Once we put a little more.
Tap the screen, please. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
But we also are standing on a square that we both drew. That's called commitment. And we are not going to guarantee each other no perfect marriage, but I can guarantee that we even like each other sometimes. But what we are going to commit to and guarantee, we ain't going no fucking way. That's one thing that we're supposed to guarantee, is that I don't know how life is going to like, but can you promise to be in this life when life's with you? And you can laugh if you want to, because he got a problem with vulnerability, see? And you got a problem with commitment.
Everything I'm going to take it, everything that you saying. I'm hearing it.
At 20 and 30, you end up in the situation you're in because people respond from what they feel, not from what they committed to. And if people would take their time getting a sense of self, discovering who the hell they are, so they can know who the heck they gotta choose, they would end up in better situations, and so will their offsprings as well. And
Let me calm this light.
Which is family. And then we can go buy some damn real estate and take the vacations you're talking about taking. But until then, we have to focus on the stuff that really is the nucleus, the backbone, the substance. I'm gonna sit to that. See, you got committed proxy laughing and stuff. No, committed proxy.
Oh, laughing because you know Cheyenne's full of SHIT.
So at 23, 30, y'all gonna tear the room up, argue, you gonna do out of there.
Both of us, not just me, everybody.
So at 23 and 30, the options was, a lot more options. At 42, them options that slimmed up. So yeah, you ain't, of course you ain't going nowhere.
That ain't it. Now you know what?
That's what you just said.
No, that's not what I said.
So
That's not what I said.
So I ain't going nowhere.
That's not what I said, but he's making a good point. For some people who get of age,
Yeah.
their options can become slim. But I can say this. It's usually the man who gets up in age and he realizes that his options have become slim. So now he wants to marry. After he's already created broken homes, broken houses, baby mamas, had multiple kids. Hold on. And he don't got his contract no more. So the money looking a little funny. So he got to make sure that he cashes out while he can and get him the closest thing to what he considers a modern day baddie, who is nowhere in comparison to the old school baddies he used to be able to get when he was in his prime. Now for women who are educated, women who are still beautiful, women who are still keeping themselves up, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, they just get better with time. And they become a demand not just only for older men, but for the younger men. And so the women who keep themselves up in that capacity actually become option.
Lies. Men do not want boss chicks. what you just described as a boss chick. Men do not want boss chicks.
You actually end up having more of abundance of options than they did when they were young. And they're also the women that the men who are their age, like my age, no, they can't obtain, let alone sustain. And so they will stay in their lane. They will stay in their lane because they understand, hold on, she was the woman I wanted when I was younger and could not obtain. I damn sure can't do it now that she has become cooked versus still meat that's marinated in the freezer. And that's the truth of it. And if women understood their value, right, as long as they just upkeep their value, right, which is internal and external, then they would stop opting out early on. They would realize, no, my options start to build and expand as I build and expand.
I agree.
And I think men as well. I feel like if men understood their value, then they would not be raw dogging. They would not be sharing their semen with just any woman. If they understood their value.
Come on.
Those are things that they would double think and triple think.
Yeah.
So, and another thing, I said, I was talking to a friend earlier and I said, you know, the young guy that I was dating for 5 years off and on, I said he had no kids, he was young, very successful, you know, in his field. I said, and what I loved most about him was he showed his responsibility, because in our intimate settings, I never, ever one time had to say, can you put him over now? Can you find a contraceptive? I never had to say that. Because...
Pause. You said off and on for 5 years. And you said this guy always wore protection in dealing with you. The reason this man wore protection was one thing and one thing only. That man never trusted you, Cheyyanne Bryant. And that's why he always went out of his way to have protection. Due to the fact you were a woman that he didn't trust. That is it. That is all.
In his mind, he didn't want to procreate before marriage. He didn't want to be raw dogged. He didn't want to, even though we might have...
No, that's not what it was. What it was is he didn't want to procreate with you. So if he's not going to procreate with you, most likely he will procreate with somebody else. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen, please. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
And that was a strong act of self-love. Because what he was saying is that, wait, it's not just you know your value, Shy, and you want me to cover up, not just for babies, but obviously STDs, but I know my value as a man. So you ain't got to ask me to cover up, because I'm not going to nothing wrong. That is a man who loves himself. There's no man who loves himself and will allow himself to get the highest risk of STDs when we have HIV and other diseases that are not curable, that are at an all-time high and always have been. That is a self-love deficit. And we have that a lot in our community. That is a problem. I'm not going to call bad decisions when it comes to things that dissipate and marginalize our community even more than it already is. Those are real conversations we need to have. Men need to know that their penis is just as valuable as a woman's private area. And they need to act as such. They need to act as such.
I agree with you. That's deep. I have a question. So when you are talking about, you know, being committed, right? Like, so for instance, my parents been married for 50 years. My sister's been married for 30 years. So I come from a background.
But you have no kids.
I have no children. I have 5 sisters. I'm the youngest, and all my
Tap the
sisters.
screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
So I come
Tap
from
the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
And my older sister always told me, she's like, you know, her and her husband is successful. Multi-millionaires, successful, both very attractive. Same with my parents. And, you know, my sister would always say, the difference between myself and my husband and everyone else is that we choose each other every day. That's the people ask me, how did you get this man to commit to you? How did I get you to commit to me? It's because we made a conscious decision. And they got married at 23, so it wasn't out of any desperation to make a conscious decision. Yeah, they were blessed. But I ask that because I feel like people have some confusion where it's like, where is the line drawn though? Because I can say I'm going to choose you every day, right? And you can choose me, but you could be cheating on me. You can have this going on. You could do this. So when I make that commitment, even in older age or whatever the case may be, how can people decipher, like, this is commitment, but this is where I should walk away?
I think anytime there's abuse,
Okay.
right, or the relationship is causing an impairment to where you can no longer function,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And the normalcy of the house is starting to be to the point where, you know, it's so dysfunctional. You have a broken family. People are just not able to come to a reasonable meeting point for the collective. Then it is time to walk away.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I don't think it's time to walk away because we have disagreement.
Right.
Because I don't like you right now. Or because you're doing shit that I just thought you would never do, and now you're here.
Yeah.
I think those are all just like, you know, spaces for y'all to do what the Bible says. It says, love your partner by knowledge of him. I just got to learn the new yourself. And I think that people need to stop coming into relationships expecting people not to change. Paul made a good point earlier. He said, I fell in love with that one. Then the child coming, things change so much. It's like, what do I do now? Well, you got to learn to fall in love with the new woman who's a mama now, who's trying to balance these two different roles. And you got to be able to communicate with her. And she has to be able to hold a safe space for that man to communicate how he really feels without personalizing it. So they can have a real conversation around what is the reshaping of this relationship that's needed. Because I try to get people to see, because I love marriage. I am like so pro-marriage and so pro-love that when my clients come to my session talking about divorce, I say, listen, I got a question. Do we really want a divorce, or does this marriage just need to be reshaped? Can we just reprogram it? Can we reshape? Because everything doesn't need to be divorced and broken and split.
Damn.
Like, you know, you talk to married couples, you talk to people in relationships, and you hear the dysfunction in all of it. Why do you want to be married in divorce?
Paul, I love you for that. I know you said because that's a good question. No, because, you know,
This is you've been negative all day.
Tap screen, tap screen, tap screen, please.
That's a real
Tap screen,
question.
tap
That's
screen,
why I
tap
told you
screen.
earlier, I'm confused about myself.
because I see people come to my office, and because I'm not a tell me more doctor, I'm not a thank you for your money, figure it out, just come back. No, we work in this session. We work. And because I see them come to my office so hopeless, so despaired, so broken, so hurt, so confused, so resentful toward each other, right? And then I see them go from that.
This is what you want.
I see them go from that with the right tools, with the right guidance, with the right support. Learn how to love themselves, how to get out of their own way, how to become healthier within themselves, how to identify the little boy and the little girl in them who is actually in that marriage and not the adult in there. And realize, I thought I just loved you. Why does she like you? Now that I know you past your trauma. Now that I know you past the little girl in you who's abandoned and broken that I was in a relationship with. For the first time in 10 years, 15 years, I'm being the man in you. To the little boy you couldn't cover me, but the man in you can learn how. The little boy you kept calling on me to be your mama, to atone for the things you didn't get from her. I'm here to be your woman, and every time I came mom to you, you mad at me. You resentful toward me.
Ooh, damn.
But I didn't do that. I'm just here to love you. You can cry on my shoulder, but I can't mom you. I had to tell my friend, literally 2 days ago, I had to say, listen, the reason why you're saying this woman doesn't have the capacity to do the things that you want is because you want her to mom you. You got two options, bro. You either go back to try to get it from where you didn't get it from, good luck, or you surrender and you realize I'm never going to get it. So I got to hear that little boy in me, and I got to move forward without getting it. And I got to figure out how I'm going to supply that for myself. Because I told him the reason why this woman doesn't have the capacity is because if he did, God knew she would enable that little woman. But her not having it is dissipating your anxious attachment and your codependency. And God has to strip you of what He doesn't no longer need you to have if it doesn't serve you.
I mean, listen, I hear you, God, but like, as a man, like when he telling them,
Yeah.
the lady that he wants you to mind him, that's your first example.
Which one?
Growing up,
Mom?
your mom.
Yeah, yeah.
Of how
Yeah.
to be treated.
Come on.
You learn
Come on.
how to be loved.
Yeah.
So why would we want that? You know what I'm saying?
100%. 100%.
And then y'all call y'all me daddy. So what we talking about here?
100%.
Exactly.
So don't try to convince him to not want that mommy feel. Like that's the first form of love as a boy feel. So like don't discourage that. You know, I feel like that should be more encouraged. Like a man wants that. This is the first form and the purest form of love that you ever gonna get as a like ever gonna get. A woman gonna come, grow up in your wife and meet.
Okay, and we still got 40 minutes
Most
to go.
black moms, as a black man growing up here, that's the purest form of love. So like
That's the purest form of love.
that I've ever had.
If it was healthy. But if it was dysfunctional, hold on, and slightly abusive, abuse is not just.
That's love too.
But abuse is love too.
Yeah, abuse is love. Cause I come from old school. My mom would. That's called abuse, right?
No.
That's abuse.
Well, so I don't. I'm not a gentle parent, so I believe in physical discipline, meaning spanking.
That's what.
And I call
That's
whipping.
abuse.
No, it's not.
That's abuse.
So it's subjective. For some people, you're right. They do consider that abuse.
Yeah.
For some folks like myself,
Some people will
I
consider that
my
abuse.
house because I got
Some people will consider that
I wasn't-
discipline. So
That's
yeah.
how we interpret it today.
No, you have some parents. I'm a parent who has no problem with pow-powing on the hand, pow-pow, whooping ass. I'm not abusing my child. As the Bible says, an undisciplined child is an unloved child. I still feel loved at 42 because I got my ass whipped.
You said as a parent.
No, I'm saying as a parent, what I would do, yes, and that's what I received. And because I see the results of myself, right, I know that it worked. But my point of saying is that if a mother is abusive, and I love you saying that is the purest form of love that man has got, you're right. And if that man's purest form of love was at the hands of an abusive mother, then what kind of woman do you think that man is choosing? I'm listening. No, that's a question.
I mean, that is a
What
question.
kind of woman is he choosing? Let me go further. If that mother, right, didn't know how to love her son, but she gave her all, but there was a huge love deficit. Hold on. He's choosing a woman who's what? Emotionally unavailable. So what happened was this young man chose a woman who he loves so much, but she's emotionally unavailable. And when I asked him, well, your mom had to be emotionally unavailable, and you want her to mommy you and give you what you didn't get. But this woman is not there to do that. And you're always saying she can't. So she can't conform ever enough to do that for you. You know what he did? He put his head down on my desk and he cried like a baby. The little boy in him just wept. And I had to tell the girlfriend, the whispered her, I don't want to hear me say it. I said, because I knew that's what he needed, right? But he was in a relationship with who? His mama, who could never hug him, who was emotionally unavailable. So you tell me we set up feeding stations in our life at all ages, okay? And the feeding stations that we set up are the feeding stations that we've learned as a kid that is either survival or thrival. And we
Tap of screen, 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 tap of
and
screen.
if all I know is abuse, then I'm going to set up abusive feeding stations in all my relationships because I need that normal baseline for me to function, even if it's dysfunctional. So we have to look at, well, what's your baseline? What is your norm? Where did you learn the norm? Did you learn it from dad, mom? Did you learn it from a group home? Did you learn it from someone who was sexually abusing you? Is that why you're promiscuous? Because for you, sexual abuse made you feel validated? It made you feel like you actually were good enough? but you didn't feel that anywhere else. So now you're promiscuous and you have no agency over your body because for you that's the only way that you're fed. We gotta look at those things. So for a man or even a woman, yes, you're right. Women should be nurturing and loving and submitting to their man. Absolutely.
Should be, but
the way we love y'all is different than the way we would mommy our son. It shows up different. It shows up different. And the beauty of it is you and your wife have no limit on your debt. But your wife and her son do. You get what I'm saying? And so the debt that you can have with this woman, if she can be your woman and not your mama, is unlimited. But when she goes into mama mode, there's automatic limits and barriers that come in that fuck up the relationship. Because a mother and son relationship is unconditional love, but there's limits. There's boundaries to keep that relationship healthy.
What's your situation right now?
Which means situation.
uh-oh. Get her, Paul.
I'm dating. I'm single, but I'm dating.
Single but dating? Something serious more than other?
No, just dating.
We gotta change, because she therapy and us.
Yeah.
Make this about her now.
Talk about it, Paul. Get her, Paul.
Hold on, what's going on with you? This is about you. You flipped the script on us. You over here.
First, no.
Man, you showed me.
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
Dating, single. What do I tell for a 42-year-old?
I'm dating.
Dating but single.
Enjoying my life. I have really good companions.
How many did you date right now?
I'm not exclusively committed to anyone, but I have one guy that I have dated off and on for 5 years. We dated.
You're in your 40s, dating a guy off and on for 5 years. Ma'am, that's a situationship. I don't care how you want to gloss over that. You just admitted that you're 40 plus and in a situationship for 5 years. Stop the cap. Let's continue.
So you was his work for 5 years? You did his work?
Oh my God.
I know what's going on now. I'm about to like this sheep floating off.
I had the roof teeth thrown out. No, we
You
have
did somebody's work for 5 years.
Get her, Paul.
each other's companion for 5 years. And yeah, I have spent the block for 5 years, and it's the truth. And he doesn't like it. He's absolutely correct. He feels like I haven't provided.
Your work.
We working together.
Look at her.
We working together.
But you keeping him at A. Or is he?
Look at
He
her.
wants a relationship. He wants to be committed.
You just like the sex.
Ooh, get her, Paul. Get her. Get her.
That's like for real. You can't keep nobody at a distance for 5 years. I ain't never done no shit.
I am not vitamin D deficient. So everything is good in that department. He wants a relationship.
She kept him on the side until she.
Hence, that's why this guy she talked about, that she's dealing with for 5 years, I'll always wear protection, because I guarantee you, the guy she talking about, that she's been messing with for 5 years, it's only one of many. I guarantee you. And in the words of Corey Holcomb, Cheyyanne Bryant, sounds like, looks like, acts like a bust down. Shout out to Corey Holcomb.
Figured out it was something better. I see where this is going.
He just has some emotional maturity that we had to do. We're 9 years apart. He's 9 years older than me. And so we both had to work through things, but he's had to work on his emotions and his intense insecurities around being in a relationship.
You've been waiting on it. Like what's the problem? Why not want to know?
Just because of that,
So you're waiting on it.
No, I'm not waiting on it. And I don't have him waiting.
So the D is good.
Oh.
Let's keep it.
Come on, Paul. and look at this, Paul got her. Paul's got her.
This is clear. I know her. She's from Long Beach.
Paul got her caught in the corner, man.
Suit jacket, she's still
Paul's got her.
the globe.
You know what I mean?
You still from Long Beach. I'm a big one. I can see that.
I am from San Pedro, a small community in the city of Los Angeles.
I can
Okay.
see all of that.
Yes, he has great qualities. He does well in all that he does with me. He just emotionally
I asked you.
is.
I asked you about his job and all that.
He does well in all areas.
Okay, she answered that. He does well in all areas.
Emotionally,
I don't know. That's a broad question.
oh, you're a man, so you answer this question. Emotionally, he goes back.
Tap
and
the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen, please. Tap the screen, tap the
I
screen,
love
tap
you,
the
I want to
screen.
be with you. I'm mad because you won't be with me. You won't commit to me. And then his insecurities get the best of him. And it's like, I want you, but I'm not sure if I deserve you. I'm not sure that I can facilitate you. I'm not sure that I can be with you. So when I say emotionally instability, it's like him wanting to be with me is concrete. That's not unstable. His emotions in the relationship are just unstable to where as a man, you gotta get vertical within yourself before you can be in a relationship. And I am. Listen, but let me say this. Let me say this, Paul. He has every right to feel like what I've been doing as far as being in a relationship with him when I want to and is not something that gives him stability. However,
It's not stability.
I don't want to commit to a relationship with a man who I feel emotionally is not in a place of being able to be in a healthy relationship.
So why are you mental games? Why are you playing mental games?
I'm not playing mental games with him. It's not mental games.
Why
It's
you
all
still-
transparency.
Why is there still sex involved?
How do you know we sexy? We could just be having a
Because you from Long Beach. I know. No, you can't play me.
You
I'm
cannot be
from
doing
the real. I know what's going on.
So let me say this, it is transparent. He understands, I understand what he wants, he understands why I don't want to commit at this moment with him, which is the emotional piece that him and I talk about openly. I support him in it, I hold space for him in it. He's, we talked about it intensively, and he understands it, and he's, that's it.
That's it. Go ahead.
That's what I'm doing?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Oh.
Come here.
Well, you know what? If that's what I'm doing, I'll say this. Okay. If I'm doing what Paul said, I'd much rather be the one watching you at the dog park than the one on the beach. If that's true. So that means, to my point, at 42, I'm not opt out. We are not opt out. Okay, we have options. And we are not on the beach. We can actually be the one floating the beach. It's all about...
Just because you quote unquote have options really don't mean a damn thing. The reality is a reality. You'll cook. Your cook and your options are slim to none.
Your standards is all about you understanding who you are, you standing in and on your square, and you doubling down on that. Period. There's men out there who will show up in any capacity we want. We don't have to settle. And we don't have to settle at a certain time. We can do what we want. Because I tell you one thing I'm not doing. I ain't doing time, but I ain't spending a whole lot of time with who I want, when I want. And both of us are enjoying it, getting what we want. Come on.
Okay, if you just take it too long, y'all cook. Y'all gotta make some decisions around here. Y'all gotta start making some final decisions. This is the final round of Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Shoot, you
So
gotta start making some
they,
decisions around here.
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen, please. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
What percentage is sex in a relationship?
You mean based on studies or me?
No. I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
Oh, okay.
Like, all right, what percentage of the relationship, like, because this is the thing, you could be with somebody like you know, he'll die for you, he just, everything, like you trust everything that he'll stand in front of the bullet for you, all of that, you know, you would trust that this man will be by your dying bed. I'm talking about like thick and thin. But the moment he step out on that end of it, it's over.
Well, you know, I'm with Jesus, but the Bible says there's two permissible reasons for divorce. One is what you described, which is called infidelity, and the other one is unfaithfulness. Look up that scripture. So what I'm saying is,
so what percentage is sex in a relationship?
for me personally,
90?
for me personally, because I'm not into casual sex, so part of
the relationship.
yeah, I'm into it. What I'm saying is because I'm not into casual sex.
Get a
Part
Paul.
of how I connect and express my love is also through the act of making love, and it's also through allowing my husband to use my body as a vessel for his satisfaction. See, a lot of women have a problem with that, and I'm not knocking them; they do. But what I'm saying is, for me, but that's a love language for me. So for me, like, right, if my husband is saying, you know, in the morning I just want a quickie before I go to work, I don't take it as he's getting a quickie because he's using me, he doesn't love me. I take it as, oh my God, like I'm being used by my husband, who's using my body as a vessel to satisfy me. So for me, I'm going, I want you to want me for a quickie, for a longie, for in between, whatever it is, because now I'm feeling needed by you, loved by you, nurtured by you, and I'm being a vessel for you, right? So my thing is, if he's coming to me all day long, and I've had to tell a client this, if he's coming to me all day long, then that should never be a defining factor whether he cheats or not. That's a character flaw. However, I'm also not putting my husband in the position to feel like, wait a minute, I'm in a deficit because all I'm doing is trying to use my wife, who should be a vessel for me, and I don't even have access to that. So I'm an access woman. My husband accessing my body is also a love language for me. So the more that he accesses me and has his way with me, the more I'm in love and feeling loved by him. But I'm also not a fatherless girl. I've had a father in my life, not just present, but present, having conversations with me that men should be having with their daughters. When I first got engaged, he was very clear. Listen, don't deny him. If he's leaving to go somewhere, offer it up. Make sure that he knows that he has access to it. He said, unless it's abused or something of that sort, submit it. There's nothing wrong with that. And so I was told that by a man who loved me, right? Who never took advantage of me. So his word is bond. And when I've been in relationships, I've been engaged twice. That's one thing that I remember my fiance saying. He was like, one thing I gotta say about you, Chai, he's like, no matter what we went through or disagreed with or argued about, he's like, you never denied me sex and you never played around with trying to puppet me with that. And it wasn't, again, because I want to keep him from cheating, because you can't control a motherfucker doing what they gonna do no matter what you do.
Sure can.
Period. It's, I feel love when you use me as a vessel. I feel like,
I love it. No, this is game over here.
No, that's real.
This is game. I like this game.
I love that. And
I
feel the
really
same way.
But women have to also, even to the women who don't have that mindset because they've either been sexually abused or they're fatherless little girls or they have other barriers, listen, that is okay. Like, you got to work through what you have going on. It's not a comparison thing. But when you get to a space where you feel safe and you look at, again, yourself as, I'm married to this man, and him accessing me is really him using me as a feeding tank. I just think that is so beautiful, that we are each other's feeding tank.
Tap
So
screen, tap screen, tap
it's
screen,
always
please.
available for you.
Tap
And I
screen, tap
do
screen,
feel
tap
like
screen.
if both men and women submitted, sexually in all other ways, I said, the piece is available for you. Because commitment's what? Not what I feel, is what I said I would do. And if I'm marrying you, by all means.
I also feel like that, like for me as a woman, if my man doesn't want me sexually, it makes me feel like inadequate. Like, well, is there something wrong? Like, are you attracted to me? Is there someone else that you're getting it from? Like, what's going on. So I personally, it's like a compliment to me that my man wants to come and have sex with me no matter what time. Like, I've never been in a relationship and denied a man of sex. Like, it's just not, that's not something I do. I don't use my sex
Tap
as
screen,
a
tap
honor
screen,
or
tap
a weapon.
screen.
And I feel like a lot of women do that. And then, like you said, it leaves room for, like, okay, I'm not getting what I want from home. And again, it's not in a way to be like, I don't want you to cheat, so I'm going to have sex with you every minute. It's in a way of, like you said, I don't want people to misuse me, but use me as much as you can, because that's what I'm here for. I want you to want me, and I want you equally. And I feel like if I'm in love with this man, or even if there's times where, like, love is not always enough, but I know that I rock with you, I know we're connected, I view sex as a form of intimacy. You're inside of me. That's the closest we can be. So when I'm intimate with you, especially because men are different with expressing emotions. So for me, it's like, if you're inside of me and I'm intimate with you, you're kissing me, and I can feel you inside of me, like, that makes me feel so close to you, and it makes me feel so loved by you that I'm just like at my highest, you know, like I feel like I could manifest at my highest when I'm in that space with my man. I always want you to feel like you can come to me. And like I said, I've been in relationships where if we stop having sex, I look up like, damn, well, what's happening? Is it someone else? Are you not attracted?
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen, please.
And that's a red
Tap the
flag.
screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
I always tell folks, if I choose you, I trust you. But if I don't trust you, why am I choosing?
Exactly.
So if I trust you, you can access me, right? That's even as a friend.
Yeah.
My best friends, I choose them. I trust them fully. They got full access. I'm accessing it.
Exactly.
And really quick, I had clients come to me, they were both 30, and their biggest issue was, for him, she was denying him of sex. And he said to me, Doc, this is what he said, Paul. He said, listen, he said, Doc. And then her issue was, he came to her and said he wanted polyamory. Right? So I'm trying to get, because I'm trying to unravel why he wants polyamory. They're 30, and I'm like, well, is that what you want? And she's like, hell no, I don't want it. And so he goes, look, Doc, man, he goes, I'm 30 years old, and I'm masturbating more than I'm even getting sex. He goes, and I've never cheated on her. I love her. It's been 5 years. And I asked her, has he cheated? She said, no. They've been together 5 years. And I said, has he ever cheated? She said,
what?
I know, right? I know. So, she said in 5 years she has no evidence that he's ever cheated. So we got to go with the fact this man is a man. He's never cheated. And so he says, when I ask her, hey, I want some, she says no. And I asked her, so well, are you in pain? Is there something else going on? And she said no. And he said, I said, how do you respond? She says, I don't feel like it. But she's also wanting this man to marry. She's also wanting this man to do different commitments. And she also is not okay with polyamory. So I said to her, why do you feel
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen, please. Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
She said, because I feel used. I don't feel loved anymore. I feel used. I said, okay. I said, but you have a man who would rather masturbate than step out on you because that's how much he loves you. Yeah. But you still feel used when he makes you his feeding station. I said, okay, but you don't want polyamory either. Well, no. I said, if it's abused or if there's an impairment, for sure, they know. And you always have agency over your body. However, if this man is telling you that I want you as my feeding station, and you can't see that as being a vulnerability in him, a plus in him, a reward in him, then you're going to have a problem. I said, and he's coming to you telling you I want polyamory because he's still trying not to cheat. Yeah. And I told him, I said, listen, if you go into this marriage and we don't fix this, you will have a sexless marriage. You will. So what I'm saying is, what ended up happening is this young woman has daddy issues. And the fact that she doesn't feel valued by her father.
Tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
She doesn't know how to receive
tap the screen, tap the screen, tap the screen.
So her trauma is eclipsing her from seeing this man is faithful, this man loves me, this man is intentional about me, this man wants to marry me, and he's into me. Yeah. Right? And so all I'm saying is there's all these barriers that people come up with, and it isn't always the man's fault. You got men who are really in session doing the right thing. And a lot of men are not as vocal with their women about the issue because good men don't want to hurt their women. So a lot of times they withdraw from saying, baby, you got daddy issues, or baby, this is not okay, or baby, I can't be masturbating he said I masturbate 3-4 times a day, doc. Oh wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. But they're also
That's too damn
having
much.
sex only once a month. Oh, that's crazy. Right? And so you have all these barriers in relationships, but when you see people break through these things and you really see them get to the other side, it shows you the essence of love, and it shows you how doing the work works.
He's not black.
Who's not black?
He wasn't black.
Yeah, he was a great looking, good man, black man, and great couple. They're still together and they're working through it. Those type of stories are very, very enlightening.
Yeah, something. That's gotta be something.
Okay, so I got it. I love you. So you're saying a nigga gonna be a nigga.
Right.
Right. That's what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
A nigga gonna be a nigga.
Yeah, so it's
So you're
something.
saying that she got a black man, not a nigga.
Right.
Because
100%.
she's deciding to try every
Yeah,
angle.
those ain't taking
But
that.
see, this is where a lot of men get upset at. Because you have good men in those situations, right? With a woman who is not seeing the value in her man because she's equipped with her trauma and her daddy issues. Yeah. You get me? Hold on.
And that's her
Because if
problem.
it was a different man like you're saying, bro, he would have ran the play. He needed to run to make sure he was good.
No, that ain't about cheating, but he would have.
Nah, that's cat.
Watch this.
Doing that.
But
Yeah,
it's-
doing that. It's hot.
But as soon as she would have cried, I'm heartbroken because he cheated, it's to your point. The man is wrong. Without people hearing the context of what even happened
Right.
and how much work this man has put in.
Right.
So there's good men out there that women are not receptive to because of their own barriers, issues, and traumas that y'all got to work through. You just do, because if you run into what me and Paul said, a nigga who's gonna be a nigga,
Right.
you're gonna be in my session talking about God and broken heart. So when you had the good God who was sitting up there trying to make sure he did right by you on every play, you was turning a shoulder to him. That's a problem.
That's real.
That's a problem. And we gotta be able to call women out too.
That's real.
Not just men. We gotta call women out too and say, I told her, I said, you got a good man. And she said, you know what? I gotta work on my issues. Because I got a good man.
She's driving with her headlights off. That's how it is sometimes. And I do see a lot of women who want good men, and when you have one right in front of them, they can't even recognize it. And it's like, damn.
Because we see in others who we are, not who they are.
Exactly.
That's it. This is why it's a self-job. I'm only experiencing myself with y'all. If I'm nasty, I'm experiencing nasty. I can't see past myself.
Yeah.
None of us could see past ourselves.
We see through the trauma. So
I
I see.
don't know if she should be a therapist or a pimp.
I'm crying about
I'm over here been listening for the last. Hey, hold on. I'm over here.
a therapist or a pimp is crazy.
She good.
She know what she talking about. I'll tell you that.
You got to
I used to see
But
you see why I'm taking my time? Huh?
I can see through that.
Yeah. You see, the therapist is what y'all get. The pimp is what they get. I'm just like,
She ain't, man.
She's serious.
I know what this is.
what is it?
I know
What
what it
is
is.
it?
I know
What?
what it is.
I know. What is it?
I ain't gonna diagnose it.
I'm crying. I love it. I love it.
Mom said she talking about feeding station. She just a pimp. She got to get with the gas. Talking about feeding station.
Yeah. Long Beach. Both of y'all.
Boy, I'm gonna have men lined up with their little feeding pot.
I'm
They go
crying.
feeding station, anybody? Feeding station.
Yeah.
I've been here a while, man. Doc, you been amazing.
Yeah, you have.
I feel like I got some good therapy today.
Yeah. You therapized.
I grew today, actually. I learned a lot today. I've always admired your work. I listen to you, I follow you, obviously. And I appreciate this right here. But I know this is Long Beach. You ain't fooling me.
I'm crying.
This is like, we get this on camera. There's something else off this camera. I know what it is. That's for another day.
Yeah. After another episode is off. Game recognize game. Okay. So we see others who we are, not who they are. You see the picture, Big Tim.
Man, I'm far from that.
You seen it first, right? I didn't see it.
I seen it because I grew up around there.
Oh.
And I done been around a lot of slick talkers, from Chicago to the Bay, Long Beach, Riverwood.
Look at Paul calling her out.
Right.
I love that.
So,
Yeah, well, I really appreciate you. I'm also, I love what you talk about. You're very level-headed, and I feel like you just bring an essence to the internet and to all these spaces that we need to hear, and a lot of women and men need, and I really appreciate that because, we live in a world where anyone can get on a mic and say anything. I really value people who are educated, who actually do the work, and who actually have the experience to talk about these things. So I'm really grateful that you came on our show. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate you. We fuck with you. And we thank you. So thank everyone for listening to The Truth After Dark. Yeah, anything you want to leave us with?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'm going to say that, but I love y'all's chemistry.
Thank you.
That's why you see me, I'll be on the comments.
Yeah.
You see, I be in the comments. I love y'all chemistry together. I love how you guys play tennis. It's so good. I do, and I love how you check his ass. I love it, and I love how you allow it, as you should. You're learning, you're growing, you're learning. But I thank you for using your platform for allowing me to come on and give my truths, because my purpose is just to change lives and help people live a better quality life, mental health, the human right, not a race right. But thanks for having me. And y'all, my new book, Mental Detox, is available pre-order everywhere. So go get it pre-order. It is available November on Thanksgiving. We'll be shipping out everything. And I do want to shout out 50 Cent for being one of my biggest supporters in my career, as well as taking lead on giving me my double book deal with the biggest publishing company in the world.
Translation, she wants to fuck 50 Cent. Let's just keep it a buck. Daughter Cheyyanne Bryant, by her body language, wants 50 Cent.
Well, 50 Cent and my agent, Mark, that 50 went to bat for me, so love him for that. That's my guy. Yeah, but y'all go get that book.
I'm a pre-order.
Yeah,
I'm getting that too.
Detox, pre-order. My book, it's good. And then we have Divine Wilderness, the next book coming out. And then I will give y'all an exclusive.
Come on, girl.
I do get exclusive.
Tell us his name.
She's pregnant 2025, baby. 2025.
Actually, no, everyone can tune into my talk show, In Session with Dr. Bryant, which is airing every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. This is the first place I've said it. I haven't said it again anywhere else. But our premiere is...
And now she got a YouTube channel.
What's that Tuesday, July? What was our premiere? Is that your calendar with me?
Come on, exclusive. I love that. We're getting exclusive.
Yeah.
That's going to be
And the
amazing.
show,
7, 14, or 21.
yeah, it's that Tuesday. Yeah, July 15th, In Session with Dr. Bryant premieres, y'all. It is not a pod, it is a show. And not to knock any pods, but pods are amazing. I love them. And it's all healing. It's a lot of work, a lot of crying, a lot of processing, a lot of the Dr. B-isms that you get, a lot of go deeper. We're working. And so, yeah, we don't go there. It's going to get easy.
I'm excited for that. I'm going to be tuning in. So July 15th, we got the talk show with Dr. B. Okay, I'm really excited. 7 p.m. on Tuesdays, Eastern time. That's amazing. I look forward to that. Make sure you guys get her book coming out, Mental Detox, Thanksgiving. That's going to be incredible.
Available now for pre-order.
I will be pre-ordering mine tonight. Amazing. Anything else you want to share, or is that?
No, I'm just excited. I'm really excited because I'm really excited for the show. That's a lot of different networks.
Tell the screen, tell the screen, tell the screen.
And
Tell the screen, tell the screen, tell the screen.
Out shows earlier last year, and he gave me some of the best advice. He said, nah, do it on your own. We're going to make sure that you have the backing and funding, and you own your show, you own your license, and go kill that shit out. And so I'm really proud because there isn't what I call like a black doctor feel right now. We don't have that. And we don't have it as a woman, even on television. And so I'm just really excited to bring that healing piece to folks so they can see, a representation of a Black woman loving our people and other people, but really advocating for our community and healing one person at a time, one viewer at a time, and really just my sheep hearing my voice and being with us. So I'm excited about it.
Are you going to have a live audience?
Nope, no live audience. Okay. Because it's not like a Dr. Phil where they just have an audience. We do real work.
Yeah.
We got people who are coming in with real issues, really intimate, really processing, and we're doing follow-ups to make sure they get the assessments, evaluations they need, the processing that they need. So it's
Dang, I might need to come on and do some therapy, okay?
Yeah, we're gonna be good.
Okay, that sounds amazing. I look forward to that. Thank you for coming. We really, really appreciate that. Make sure you guys tune in with Dr. Cheyyanne Bryant, Truth After Dark. Subscribe, follow. We will have all her information as well as her book tagged in the YouTube to the pre-order. And thank you guys for tuning in.
And we could cook.
Yes,
We
super
could.
good, baby. Yeah, raw meat, salmonella, baby.
And we're out.